Let's get ourselves a drink of coffee. Dang, I almost drank it all. They say don't drink and draft, but here I am, drinking and drafting. By the way, get a Pi-Fi mug or an artisan mug. Oh, it's too early on a snowy Saturday morning to be advertising. That's kind of funny. So this is a townhome project, and I'm working on these. Well, I finished up the floor plans, the 2D floor plans, and I like to put them on the floor plates. And then when I set up views, I go up here to my trusty, where is it? First floor plan. I'll turn off the others, and we'll look at it. Well, I need to turn off this story pole. I have this thing I call story pole, and it shows the wall and the floor plate, and then a wall and a floor plate, on each level. And since these step down 12 inches because of the grade slopes down this way, I've got these references, but I need to turn that off, obviously, when we start to print our drawings. So I turn it off, and now it's gone. But see, I have to save that for every view, so I'll have to go back and turn it off and save, update, and then I just turn off the first floor plan and turn on the second floor plan. And let's turn off the story pole and save that, update, and then we turn on the third floor plan, and like that. And so this way I can use the same view in layout, update. But I want to go back to that view I had. I called it work because I was working on the foundation, and I had just finished. Let's get ourselves in perspective mode here. I had it originally to step down 8 inches each time. You'd want to go either 8 or 12, when you're stepping down a foundation, because that gives them the ability to, well, if you're using concrete block, CMU, you'd want to step down in 8-inch increments. If you're pouring concrete walls like I'm suggesting here, then 12 inches is a nice thing to use, because they have 12-inch forms to form up this step down here. So so I got that, and then my floor slabs are not turned on. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's turn off all the floors and then work on one at a time here. Got my roof plan, and this little thing right here is the when you're looking at it in plan view, is the if we're looking straight down, it is the shaft wall in the plan view. So anyway, we're going to turn that off, 2D shaft wall, and then we're going to put this back on perspective, because I like working in perspective mode. Just looks cool. And these are my floor slabs. So what happens is, when you're doing these slabs like this, you would where's my floors? There we go. You would pour your concrete walls, and then this has to be filled in with gravel, but you would form in this ledge around the edge, so that when your wall sits on the whole, the foundation and the floor, the wall covers it up. So the walls are 2x6s, so they'll come into here. The whole wall will be 6.5, like that. You wouldn't want to form your wall all the way up, 8 or 10 inches wide, and then pour the slab inside that, because if you decided to leave the concrete as a finish, which they are thinking about doing down here, then you'd be able to see that joint line all the way around the room. But what you want is the slab to continue under the wall. So it's just a standard that we use. And then, if you don't know my background, I've been building for 45 years and been in architecture for almost as long. So now I have a design build company, and this particular project I'm drawing for the contractor. They're developers, so I'm not the contractor on this one, which I wish I was, but boo-hoo. Right, so I got the first floor here, and you can see you just come into this sort of common room. They can use this like a home office or a you know, we've got an option somewhere. Yeah, down here there's an option that you could close that off and make it like a bedroom. And so that's the first floor. You got your garage back here. And so what I'm working on now is the second floor framing. And I'm going to run the floor trusses this way because, and I'm still debating this, I may go over this with my structural guy. On a 3-story townhome in our city, you have to have a structural engineer stamp the drawings. So I'm going to propose a way to do it. The third floor framing is pretty much self-explanatory. We would run the floor trusses this way. We would have a mid-bearing point, because, you know, if we get to it, I'll show you why. On these stairwells, you can just leave out a truss, and it makes a nice stair opening, and then you just header off the trusses. But not too much talking, Tony. You got to get some work done. So I'm just going to pick one of these units and use it as a typical unit. Like, I'm not going to floor frame every unit on every floor. I'm just going to pick out maybe this one. I think this is actually the option. You can see there's different floor plan options, and I think this is the one they're going to go for. Makes a nice big living area, like a galley kitchen. And they like the way that I've got the windows on the front of these. Let me just show you that right quick. I'll save this as my work view, and we'll go to the front elevation. You can see they step down, and we got to do some things. This is kind of schematic. We don't have this all determined yet. We got to make this look more, you know, architectural or whatever. This drawing was, the schematics was just to figure out what configuration of windows we wanted to use. And if we have the kitchens along the front, we'll go back to our working view. Then, like this, then we'll have these windows up high above the countertop. So the problem with this configuration is you have this nice big kitchen and dining area, but you have a very small living area. And in my experience with these type of townhomes is that you do most of your living in here, not in the kitchen. So if you had a big house, you know, 3,000 square foot house, you'd want a big kitchen like this. But, you know, in a 1,500 square foot townhome, you want to keep it reasonable. And I'm going to keep an eye on the comments today. So if you have any, you can leave them, or take them or leave them, bucko. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to put myself a stair in here. And Medeek, Nathaniel Wilkerson, made these extensions, and I work with him on these. And he has come up with a nice stair. I used to draw my stairs manually, but now he's got this extension, and the stairs are 38 inches. Maximum riser height 7.5. Okay, we want lumber. No. Let's see. Tread depth. That's correct. Bob. Nosing. Square. Okay, this looks like it's set from the last time I used it, because this is all correct. Stair framing. Yes. Landing. None. And options. The spot. Notch. Okay, where's the handrail? I do want to go ahead and do a handrail. Yes, because I think that's cool. And I'm thinking about cutting out this part of the 2D floor plan and letting this stair show when I do, and I'll show an example of that. And I just realized I may need to cut it out already, but let's just go ahead and try. So handrail profile. Oh, I forgot these numbers. We're going to call it circular for now. We want it on, well, we can change the left. Let's see. That would be the right side. And then clearance, return, lumber. Let's go 6 inches. I want to see if I can get that in there. 6 inches extension. They're pretty lenient on the extension in residential. Let's see. You can on the wall mounted rail, you can almost get by with bringing it down to the bottom tread. Let's see. Unless it's an ADA issue, but single family homes are exempt from ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. Drop rail. Let's see. All right, let's just do it. Enough parameters. So, once that's in the middle, well, we can adjust it if it's not in the middle. And then, well, I need to know if it's in the middle or not. How do I know? I should have put myself a guideline down. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, ho, Joe. How much are these risers? I may need to go back to 16-inch floor trusses. 7 1/8. You can tell I was planning on having, I think this floor plan is based on a 16-inch floor truss, and I probably need to go back to that. That landed right. So, but yeah, what I was thinking about doing is cutting this out. Let's see. So I would take these treads out. I'm just going to do it on this one stair, and then that way, when you're looking at the let's go back to our work. Let's fix our working view here. Let's call this an update. And then we'll go to our second floor plan, and you can see now I don't have to draw the handrail going down the sides, which will be kind of neat. And I can take this, even though they will put this 2x4 on here as a spacer for the drywall and the skirt board. Let's go back to our working view. We can take that off, but I'm not sure I want to spend that much time on this stair, because I think I can drop a I'll show you. Let's do away with this. It's easy to do. Now let's drop this 2 inches Yeah, this is a long, tedious process, boys. We'll hit the control key. This ain't, it ain't child's play. We say, I used to say nom, but let's see, that would be 19 inches. Just wanted to check to see if I was in the middle. Holy cow, it's about an 1/8 inch off. Okay. Let's just fix that right quick. I'm going to move it over first and grab that point and then go. There we go. Alright, now. I just eyeballed it before, which is a bad idea, right? So now, I'll shoot. Alright, let's delete. I just realized I did that on the top one. Let's do this again. Life is a highway. Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between 2 inches. I'm thinking we're going to be able to take off a whole riser, because that was 7 1/8. Really is kind of a low. I mean, you can go up to 7 3/4. I like 7 1/2 if I can get it. Somewhere around 7 3/8, 7 9/16, 7 1/2. That's the most comfortable. Oh, my eye's going out already. The most comfortable. Okay, cool. It saved all my settings. So we're going to go in here and click this lower one. I don't want to lose my oops. We're still there. We're still out into the doorway. I'm gonna have to move this back. Excuse me. Let's see what we ended up with a riser. Yeah, see, 7 3/8. That's what I thought. And then where did we? So this is what I'm running into. I need this door. I need to move this back 6 inches, or do I have 6 inches up here? I do. I don't like it, but I have it. So we're going to have to drop all these 2 inches. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to adjust my story pole. Now see, this is where your story pole comes in handy, because I've got these as a component. So as I fix this one, they'll all fix, and it'll tell me. Yeah, we can't change our stud height, but we can change. I had changed the. Let's see. Well, I can just replace those. I don't need to worry about that. I can just copy this one. But you can see all these are changing, and that's kind of what you want to do. You don't want to set yourself up with a lot of labor. Anytime you can create a component like that. Now, if I turn on my floor plans, when I get to those, I'll be able to correct. And see, that's quite a bit of difference, because you're gaining 2 inches each time. So 2, 4, 6. This should be 6 inches up here. Yep. The little dimensions will show up down here in the little box. That's why I have my big head above that, so you can see. So I'm not going to worry about that. Since I'm working on this one right now, I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to turn these others off, other floor plans off, third and roof, and just work on this as our typical one. And then I'll know, since this stairs cut out, I'll know the next time I come in that they all need to match this one. Now, the funny thing is, I had the floor plans as components too, but those goobers asked me to do like 3 different options, and they ended up, I probably will make these middle 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a component. Let's see if we have any comments. Hey, Barrett, my man. Barrett's my son. He creates music for my beautiful music for the website. Well, everything. All of my beautiful music. So does Alex. Both my sons are awesome musicians. Professionals. There's Richard. Oh, by the way, hey Richard. How much snow I got? We got about 4 inches last count. It kind of stopped yesterday afternoon, but my particular area found a gap. You know, there was like it's funny, there was a big channel in the snow clouds, and it was basically going northeast, just like the weather pattern, and so we only got about 4 inches up here. But now I got to move this stinking stair, and this is a weird dimension anyway. This one, so I'll probably see what's 48 inches. That's not going to gain us much, is it? Let's see here. For now, I'm just going to move this back. Why is that? Oh, what is that down there? Oh. I'm working in 2D and 3D at the same time. Gets a little confusing sometimes. That's for the plan. And then I should have kept up. Instead of talking, I should have kept up with how much I moved that back, but no big deal. I can just lock this axis and then use that as a reference. Now see what that did. This is kind of scary because, yeah, that's a little too close, honestly. I mean, if the framer doesn't pay attention here, well, okay, so normally what happens in real life is you'll put there'll be 3.5 here, and then you can get by with, well, what I'd like to have is 4.5 here, and that's what I've got. But I can get by with 3 here, with 2. I can get by with a king stud and a jack, but it only leaves you, with 2.5 inches for, well, you end up having about 3 inches by the time you put you got a little space, maybe a 1/4 inch. We're getting down into the minutia now. And then you got the door jamb, or the door frame. The jamb is 3/4 at least. So what you end up with, and that's the drywall right there. So, I mean, you do have enough room for trim there. So we're just going to do that. And I'll have to go fix all these. Now, the first 4 plans I may have set up as a component. We're going to find out here. I'm going to move these because they're all pretty much the same. We couldn't. Did I get everything? So, what did I do? I've got 3.5 and 3. So that's how you'd frame it in a spec house. What I like to do is give it a little more room in like a custom house in case they want to use wider trim on the side of the door. And what that does, if you don't have enough room there, your trim will end up butting into the wall and it looks kind of tacky. But this will give us, how wide has he got these treads? That's correct. So he's got the extension Working good. And so that only gives us 4.25 to the door trim. That's the tolerances are, are kind of weird on this because, and you don't want to set yourself up for mistakes. Like the framer, what if he does put, a stud, a king stud, and a jack is 4.5 inches. So now they're going to be notching the casing around the stair tread. So I may see if I can cheat. The problem with this is that as you're coming up the stair, you got to bring all this furniture up this stair and then go up that stair. So, but we can make this a half wall. Yeah, I've got this drawn as a half wall here. So, let's call this 3 feet 9. Get out of this floor plan here. Oh wait. Yeah, that's where I wanted to be. We're almost lined up with that wall right there. I wonder how that's going to. You know what? That's this is the kind of thing. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. Let's see. We're gonna have a floor truss right here, 3.5. What we should do is make that the stair opening going up, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Is you got a lot to think about here. So let's get out of this. Oh, did I move it? Yeah. And move this over. Now I'm just going to tell you, man. You're not going to have an architect think on this level, okay? So if you want a good floor plan, you better talk to, you better find somebody who's built stuff before. Just saying. Alright, so now we got plenty of room. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm wondering why I went that far now. Okay, so we want to do some floor framing, but the problem is if I don't take care of this now, I'm going to be in trouble. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. 3 feet 9. Okay, that sounds good. Now, because I got this stair is all centered around. The floor framing is all centered around this stair. Let's get rid of these guidelines. And now let's check our headroom. We are going to be down 16 inches. Well, let's see. We'll be down. Let's look at our story pole. I'm hoping this 16 3/4. Yeah, okay. I was afraid I had taken out my subfloor there for a second. So I'm going to copy this down 16.75. That's the bottom of our truss. And then we're going to measure where we've got our stair opening. We'll go right there somewhere down to the tread that the building inspector is going to, yeah, this will be the tread. Oh, we got plenty of room, 7 feet 9. I like to have at least 7 feet, but the minimum is 6 foot 8, which would have been, well, even if we came back to that tread, which means we could save a little headroom. Now this is where it gets iffy, is you don't want to, well, we don't want to make our kitchen smaller. Yeah, we don't want to cut the countertops back that far, so we'll leave it, and we got plenty of room here. Yeah, we got plenty of room there, so we'll leave that alone, and we'll just have a nice big, lots of headroom there. So now I can get rid of this one. And check comments. No comments. Alright, finally, I think we're safe enough to do some floor framing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke my, let's see, draw floor. And I'm going to go around, let's see here. So the floor is going to be, the floor trusses will be back a ½ inch from here. And they'll actually be, let's see, 3 inches from there. So that's our corner. Let's see, no, I'm sorry. That's not true. It would be, yeah, it goes all the way out to the edge of this one, because the shaft wall is there. So I can go from there to a ½ inch back to, because I like the exterior sheeting to go up over the face of the. Some people make that mistake. They'll run their floor trusses all the way out to the edge and not allow for the sheeting to go over the face of them. And that means from the concrete we should be back a ½ inch. So I can draw me a line just for the fun of it. Lock that blue axis. Thought I locked it. Oh, that's right, I'm over here. So I should be on that line. What is going on, dudes? Yeah, okay. Alright, now we can draw some floor trusses. Just gotta check to make sure. And when I used to use this, I think I actually do have to use this one. I don't think he has floor trusses on this one yet. He's working on several different things here. So I'm going to use this one, and we're going to use this. And we're going to go, let's see, we're running the span this way. There we go. And this will go all the way to here. And we want bearing, let's see, 3 on chord, depth, 16. That's crazy. Oh, I had already done kind of a sample on another townhome, so these are 16. Let's see, chase opening, chase location. I don't think we're going to have a chase on these. Ribbon. Plywood. Ply thickness. Panel. Alright, spacing 24 inches. No, we don't need gable interest. Well, you know what? We do, don't we? Yeah, we want that to be like a wall on the end. Spud spacing. Stud spacing. Advanced floor options, yes. Okay. Sheathing, yes. Sheathing thickness, ribbon, board, sill plate, no. We're going to sit on top of a wall. We don't need that. Okay. Okay, there we go. And we have ourselves a floor system. Voila. Now, let's turn off the floor sheeting. Well, let's set the truss in the right spot first. It goes down here. At the right place, yeah, right there. And we're going to turn off the sheeting because I can't see. Well, you know what we could do? We could cut the hole in it first. Well, here's what we're going to have to do on the floor sheeting. Right, and let's turn off the floor plan just to get a good look at our trusses. There's our trusses as a whole, and we'll see where they stuck the, yeah, they stuck the, we really don't need, my goal for these is to run them this direction, and they'll be broken up by the stairs, so the spans aren't that long, and that way I can run ductwork from front to back easier than if I had run them across this way. And I really don't want to make my our divider walls or townhome walls load bearing. I want these front 2x6 walls to be the load bearing walls. So that's why I'm doing that. And I've got walls down here. I got a wall right here that's load bearing that'll carry the span from here to there, and so then all I have to deal with is this here, and this is all broken up by the stairs, so I don't think I'm going to worry. Now here's a good example of what I'm talking about, and that is how wide is this right here. This may have worked out perfect. Yeah, look at that, 3'2"3/4. Now we can change this. We really need to be 3'3". And I think I figured this out before. If we started out our 2-foot layout over here, and that's what it does, that's what the extension did, that we end up with the right stair opening over here. I kind of figured that out before. So we may, and so my point there is that instead of making this complicated, what does that give us right here? I don't know if I want to move it over though that far. I guess it's 3'6". And what worries me is that, you know, if the building inspector comes in and says, "Oh, see this extension's on the wrong side. This has to go on the other side." Well, it actually could go on that side. Well, if they want to open stairwell, edit stair assembly, let's put it on. How is that the right side? That's weird. I guess it's going up. Okay. I want the stair to be, I want the handrail to be there, but you know, if the building inspector got picky, he could say you don't have enough room. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. You can get by, really kind of get by with a wall-mounted rail that comes down to the just the bottom of the tread. You know, if it was commercial or ADA, you would have to have a 1-foot extension, but that 1-foot extension would have to be a horizontal extension. Like, you know, you've seen them, they come down and level off. But you don't have to do that in R1, you know, single family homes. So, and it just occurred to me that has to go on the other side. So undo that, because this wall is a half wall on this side. So many details, man, that you can't see when you're working in 2 dimensions, you know. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, that worked out perfectly there. I'll work out the handrail later. This video was supposed to be about floor framing, but I'm failing on that duty right now. Let's see if we have any comments. Ads on a live video. YouTube is disgusting. Come on, man. I gotta make money somehow. Come on, man. No, I put it on the settings. I've got it. If I go in to edit this, you'll see I've got it on the least amount of ads that it can be. Sorry, man. I'm getting close to retirement age, man. Come on, Richard. I ain't got mega bucks like you. I'm just kidding. Alright, so let's turn our floor plan back on, because that's going to help me with my what I have to do next. And this is the coolest thing about Medeek's floor extension, is that you can't really put stair openings in yet. I've talked to him about this, but one thing you can do is create these zones that subtract from, and we're going to create a folder for subtractions. 15 space subtractions. Okay, I just like to keep my work. You see, I've got these few layers that are outside the folders, and that's a no-no. But I've got most of the layers organized by wall and floor and roof. So in here, we're going to create a layer called, and SketchUp's, progressive, so they use the word tags instead of layer. But I'm going to call it subtract second floor stair. Okay, so now I'm going to create a block, and I need to figure out exactly how big this needs to be. So that, and then we need to add the drywall. That's a 1/2 inch, and then we can get rid of that. I think I'm selecting it. It's on top of that other line, so I can't see. Oh, that was not right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a group out of it so I can see what's going on. Now what we need is a depth here. So we need to cut out the drywall below the floor trusses. So basically that's 17.5 inches. Okay. So we need to raise this up 17.5. And then we can lower it. We can turn off the second floor plan and lower it to the sheeting. Too many layers. Okay, now I'm an old school drafting guy. I started out with AutoCAD in 1982, and we called them layers for 30 years, and SketchUp comes along and with their DEI crap. I'm just kidding. And alright, so if we go in, I'll show you how this works. Okay, I'm just kidding, SketchUp. Don't cancel me. If I name this instance, this thing I just created, this mass I just created, subtract. If I select it and I go up here and I call it subtract, I think I have to do it in caps. I'm not sure. I'm going to anyway. Subtract. I'm just going to call it floor. Second floor. Okay. Now it's supposed to, and then if I put this thing in the subtract layer, I can turn it off, but it'll still cut the floor out. Where did it go? Subtract. There we go. Now, if I regenerate this floor, this should work. Oh man, what happened? Why is it? It popped up. Oh, I never moved the floor down, did I? Oh, and it also has to go inside the floor instance. Alright, so that's the, let's go back. Now see, this is where your story pole comes into play. We want to make sure that our sheeting is right there on that line. Okay, I can turn that off now. And, oops. And turn off the floor plan. I don't know why that thing, why that popped back up there when I regenerated it. Is it going to do that every time? Well, I'll be son of a gun. I have never seen it do that before. Usually if I relocate it, it'll stay. Well, okay. What I gotta do is, this has to go in there anyway. So I gotta cut this out. And then I gotta go in here and put it inside there and paste it. And then raise it up. And I can lock this axis, the blue axis, and then plop it back down. Now that should cut it out. Oops. I need to talk to him about this. Oh, I got to turn the subtraction layer off. There we go. See, it'll cut it out. And then I can put my the header joist around, header trusses, which is pretty cool. But you know, and it's just graphic because when you're looking at the floor framing plan, you'll just be looking straight down, so you won't see that the webbing is, the cords and everything are cut out weird. Now I may rebuild that with what I'm getting ready to do. But now I gotta see, one thing that's disturbing me is that why it's relocating itself every time I because I'm gonna have to regenerate this thing. It's kind of disturbing, to be honest with you. I mean, has it got something to do with the bearing? If I change this to top chord, what will it do? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I don't want that. See, I don't want that. That's where they cut it back and let it bear. Well, it still doesn't fix it though, does it? Huh. That's frustrating because I've been able to move these before and it not do that. I've been able to move them just like that and they stay. Because I gotta work on it. I gotta fix that thing, and then I don't want this thing moving on me every time I regenerate it. And see, when it regenerates, it's only well, this is a bust. I'm gonna have to redo this floor. What a pain in the butt. So that means I'm gonna have to move this down 16 3/4 and draw it down there. Patootie. This is a live work session. Live work session. This is to be expected. Can be frustrating sometimes, but that's why they call it work, I guess. I am surprised though, because I've been able to do this before without having to move. I need to call Nathan Wilkerson, the guy who created this extension, and find out why it's relocating itself. I mean, you are normally selecting the top of the wall, I mean in a normal case, but you should be able to place it anywhere you want to without it moving around on you. So all this should work. 16. Okay. Yes, okay. Sill plate, no. Where's my mass? Okay. So now if I raise this back up to where it goes, 16.75, then we should be good. Now if I regenerate this time and it jumps around, I'm going to be really mad. Okay. We got lucky floor plan. Alright, so let's create our mass again, because I accidentally deleted it when I deleted the other floor. Okay, so this time what I want to do is I'm going to create some offsets for the box first. So I know I got to go over here. I want to be back 3/4 for now. And over here I want to be back a 1/2 inch. But actually I want to be back more than that. I want to be back 1 more inch for the band right there. And here, I want to be back a 1/2 inch. I want to be back, I think I want to be back this far over here, because that gives me a room to put in a little floor truss to, or to have whatever, do whatever I need to do there. And then this will be a 1/2 inch. So that's my box. I need to draw a box from here to here. And we'll just make it 18 inches. Doesn't really matter how tall it is, as long as it's big enough to block out the. Right, now I'm going to make that a group, and I'm going to cut it out, cut, and then go into this, and paste it in there, and I'm going to call it subtract again. I can learn how to type. Second floor. I've got my keyboard for my laptop folded over my keyboard, so sometimes I'll miss. Alright. We want this to be in subtract. Okay, and then we're going to drop it. Let's see, we're going to drop it down to the sheeting. Now that should cut that out. Let's cut the floor plan off, and then we can regenerate this. Oh, we got to turn off the subtraction layer. There we go. Alright, now that's working, and it's staying at the right height if I turn on my story pole. So I've never experienced that before, where it jumped. I've usually been able to put it, so that's correct. So that gives you right there, the truss is sitting on top of the wall, and there's your 1/2 inch sheeting coming up, and then this line is your top of your subfloor. So we're good, and let's regenerate it one more time to make sure. Okay, so you gotta make sure when you draw your outline for the floor, and I remember being able to move this around before. Okay, but anyway, so this now, so this, let's turn off our sheeting so we can work on our framing here, which was the whole point of this video. It's funny. How many hours are we into this? An hour already? Alright, so let's turn off our guides. And now we can work on our framing. So this over here is going to be sitting on top of this wall. Okay? And I'm not going to draw the wall right now, but there will be a wall that comes up to that point. And those will be bearing on that wall. So I don't need anything really structural there. I just need something to close it off. And I said it was going to be 1 inch thick. They make this rim board that's 1 inch thick that's used for like TGIs and stuff. So you can use that, or 3/4 inch. You can use plywood or whatever. But this doesn't have to be structural. This is the structural side over here, because this has got an opening. This is open down here a little bit, so this side needs to be, And it doesn't sit directly over this wall down here because this bathroom had to be a certain width. So now what we're going to do is make that a group. And we're going to give it a, what are we going to do? Let's call it a, you know what we should have done? I'll get the hatch, the poche from this one. Right here I'm going to draw a beam and this will be cool. He added these beam features to the extension too, where you can draw them. So we're going to go in here and go beams and columns, draw beam, and we want this to be an LVL. There we go, and we want it to be 3¾ by 16. Thank you for having that that size, and we want 2 of them. We don't need pressure treated. What's this beam Z floor? Height of the reference floor for the beam above. Oh, that's Z. I was thinking about flashing. It's funny. Advanced beam options. Well, let's see what they are. Oh, brother. Oh, these are for cuts and hangers. Well, we could do a hanger, but let's just go with what we got now. Alright, so we're going to go from here. Oh, that's the center of it, so I'll have to move it over from there to here. And why did it not show up? What layer? That's weird. I've got some things going on in this drawing that haven't happened before. What is that all about? Did it draw it somewhere else? brother. If you want issues, do a live stream, okay? That's just automatic. You can't have good things anymore. Let's see, walls. That's never done that before. I swear to Jesus. Alright, beam. Draw beam. I swear to Jesus. Is there a layer turned off? There's our subtraction. It should be in floor beam. There it is, floor beam. Let's draw it out here and see if it's something weird about the and we'll look down here in our directions, which I never watched down here. Draw beam, let's see, click beam start point, okay? Click beam endpoint. What in the world? Alright, so I may have to, oh, brother, what is going on? Okay, sometimes if I click, yeah. I'm going to, let me expand all my tags here and see if there's something weird. I'm just going to turn on everything. Before I do that. I'm going to save this as working view because that will update the state. I just can't imagine what it's doing. You see, there's lots of junk in here, and I don't want to have to work around all of it. There's floor hidden. That shouldn't be there. I may have to, is it in wall? You know what? Did he put that in the wall layer? I hope not. Oh, you know what? That's what it is, because, holy cow, I see it. I don't know why it's in the wall. Because, alright, I know what to do. Why is that in wall beam? Why is it not in floor beam? Alright, Nathan, we're going to have to talk, buddy. This should be in floor. Well, okay. So if you're putting it in a wall, it would be wall beam. Do we have floor beams? Alright, well, at least I figured out what it was. Let's go back to this view where I don't have all these crap and layers on. And we'll go turn on, excuse me. And then we'll just turn off all this other stuff. Oops, not wall beam. But you can see why I have these layer states. There's just too much going on. We got there finally. Now, is this going to be one of those things where it wants to jump to? We're going to find out. So we're going to save this as our working view. And I probably have two beams here now, so I can delete one of them. And I probably have one out here in the yard. Yeah, I can delete that one. I knew something was going on with layers. Now let's do this. Let's move this down here. And we're going to see if we got the jumping issue. Let's see if we get this. I can see my blue axis. That would go right there, but let's see. Let's pretend like we're going to edit it. Whatever, and then we regenerate it. Now see, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Jesus, for showing that I'm not crazy. You should be able to move an object around in space, right? I should be able to move this thing anywhere I want to and edit it, and it stay there. And those floor trusses were jumping back to the point where I had created them, and it should be doing that. I should be able to move this beam around and then edit it. Like say I want to make it, let's just make sure let's make it, 14 feet. It probably made it on the other end. Yeah, it added it. And then close, and then regenerate beam. You see it staying there, so I can undo that. So I'm not crazy, just wanted to demonstrate that. Okay, so that's our, now we can see right away that we don't have our cutout. Which I'm surprised. Let's turn on our second floor plan. See if we got any comments. How long you been architecture? I have been, so I started doing drafting work in 1982. I got into architecture about 1990. And I've been in the construction industry since 1978. So that tells you. About 45 years in construction and about 32 years in architecture, if that's what you want to call it. I was a project manager for a big architecture firm, and then I left that 22 years ago and started my construction company, my design build construction company. So normally I'm building what I'm drawing, but in this case I'm doing this drawing work for the developer. But I realized this is not. Oh, I see what I did. I forgot to make the box big enough. This should go over there plus a ½ inch. Is that right? No, that's not right. I think I did something weird there when I moved it. Oh, I see. I'm down 3/4, so I was looking at it weird. Okay, so I need to go over 3.5, I need to go over 4 inches. Right, and then that should make it in a ½ inch for the drywall. So I draw this out in this way. That's 1 inch. Thought it looked like it was too much. So that means my box should be that big. Yeah, that's right. So that means my subtraction box needs to be that big. So if I turn this off and I turn on the subtraction box, it's easy to adjust now that I've got it drawn. Let's turn all this. Oh, we expanded all of our layers. We need to collapse them again. Okay, yeah, let me get this over here. And now I can just use the push-pull tool. Pull this over to there. And just for the fun of it, I'm gonna, let's see, that part's right. I didn't need that. This part should be on the edge of this. Yeah, that is correct. This should be right there. And that box, if you just joined us, that box is a subtraction entity. Now I can regenerate this floor, and you see it, the trusses move back because my subtraction entity took out that geometry. Okay, so that, and now I'm going to steal this hatch off of here, this poche, as we call it in architecture. I'm going to select this and I'm going to apply it to that. That looks better. Only thing is that's not a it's not a beam. It's just a band to header off those, because they're sitting on top of a wall which is sitting on top of a concrete foundation. So that's just a way to block the trusses off so you can run drywall over them. Now some builders will literally not put this here, and they'll forget, and the trusses will come all the way out to the wall, and you'll just have to put drywall over the ends of the trusses, which is not the best thing to do. And go. Okay, so that is the way that works. Now the floor, now to header off the floor over here on this side, we would have, let's see, we'll turn on our second floor and we'll put a reference here. It would be back a ½ inch from here. That horizontal. Why does it look like it's down? Oh, it's the counter. Oh, that was an optical illusion. The countertop line was making it look like it was raised. All right, so that's where we header off this part this way, and that can just be anything. Well, we'll do a. Actually, we need a little. Actually, what we need to do there is let that sit on top of the wall. So I need to come back 3.5 and draw ourselves a little beam. We'll come back 1.75 and we'll just draw ourselves another little beam there. Just because there's going to be a wall sitting on top of it and it's not going to hurt anything. It ain't going to cost that much money. Where are we at? Beams, draw. I don't use this that much, so draw beam. Draw beam. It should be set in here already. Yeah. I should just be able to. Well, I'm going to use that point because that line is up. And then I can go over here and I can drop this down. Let's see. That's the center of it. But that's up 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, because I drew it on the floor plan. So I'm going to drop it down. Why do I feel like that's not right? Yeah. And what we're going to do is let's turn our second floor. Yeah, and that's ½ inch back. That should be a ½ inch back. Yep, it is. You can look down here and see the dimensions. So that, and what that'll do is that'll allow, and then this will be cut back. This little piece here, this little beam, this little header will sit on top of the wall that's down here. And it wouldn't take me a second just to draw a sample wall. Just to show you what I'm talking about. So that wall will go from there to here. You see, so you want that, you want this sitting on top of that wall. And then this, let me make that a group. And I'll delete it later. Okay, but this piece will come back now to there. And you'll have yourself a nice little stair opening. Like that. Now let's check dimensions and see how weird they are. It's not bad. I like that. 10 foot 7.5. And then this should be in some kind of logical. Let's turn off these lines so I don't grab them. Go from here to there. 3 foot 3. That's correct. So we're looking good. The only other weird thing might be this dimension. Yeah, okay. This, I knew there was going to be one dimension that was weird. Can't have all of them there. So, you know, when you're dimensioning your drawings later, later this will come up, days from now. You'll have this weird dimension, and your framer is going to laugh at you. What do you mean? Why did you make that? 12 foot 8 and 7/8 instead of 12 foot 9. And we're going to make it 12 foot 9 just to show that guy we're not crazy. So we're going to go plus 12 foot 9 fits better on the sheet when you're dimensioning the sheet. So we are not going to be bothered by an eighth of an inch. But we don't want to have to worry about, and I don't like changing the tolerances on my dimensioning tool either, because it's kind of cheating. Like I could set the tolerance to 1/4 inch and it would have made it 12 foot 9, but again, that's cheating. We ain't a cheater, man. Alright, so let's see any comments. No, not anymore. Alright, so that looks pretty good, believe it or not. Now we just got to check let's check our block out tool, our block out mass. And well, we know it's working because if we regenerate this, oh, look here, I just realized something. Regenerate floor. Yeah, we did. I guess we don't have to put this in the floor. Well, this is where I might change these. I might re-tag these, and I'm going to try a quick. Let's see, what is this? We're going to put this in floor truss, okay? And we're going to try to re-tag these and see if it works. Floor truss. I hope this works. I hope there's nothing embedded in there that turns it off when we turn the wall off, which I think that's going to happen. So if I go in here now and I've got these, and I've got the wall turned off, will that go off? Daggone, I knew that. I knew it was going to, even though I tagged it, there's something embedded. Okay, we can change it right here. What we need to do, and this is a rule, your geometry needs to stay in untagged, okay? And then your group goes in the layer. This is a CAD standard thing. Okay, so now if I turn off the wall, it's going to stay. You see, so both of these should be in this level inside the group. They should be in untagged. Okay, it's maybe a little hard to follow, but you don't want to put you don't want to embed tags inside tags. You want to leave you want to put it, unless you have an intended use for it, right? Unless you intentionally do it. But generally speaking, I've got a group here that has 2 beams in it, and I don't want to go inside that group and tag them separately. So you would put it in a generic, in AutoCAD, it's layer 0. Okay, and then when you make a group or a block, you put the group or the block in the tag or the layer. Okay, you see there's a hierarchy. Now you can embed tags, but just remember, if you start turning off walls and turning on floors, or vice versa, you're going to forget. And when you do your floor framing plan, if I'm going to have the walls turned off when I do the floor framing plan. So then I've got to go back and fix it. So the best thing to do is to re-tag them, so that see, I'm turning off the walls and nothing's happening. So I turn off the floor, something happens. That's what we want. Because what we're going to do eventually is set up a view where we're looking, straight down, and we'll do this parallel projection, and you see, and then we'll turn off all this other stuff. To do a floor framing plan, we would turn off all this junk, whatever it is. I gotta watch that I don't turn off the trusses, insulation, joist, rim, scheme, seal. Oh yeah, we don't need the foundation turned on, or the any site work that's turned off. See, we're getting there. We're getting there. We don't even need the stair turned on. Let's see. What did he have that in? So what we want to do here is to put this in 3D stair. I think I have it under stair Medeek. Oh, stair 3D. I need to look at that. Okay, so now what we would do is, when you're looking at a floor framing plan, you would dash the walls underneath. So what we would have to do is come up with a layer to, I'm going to delete this wall because that's not going to end up there. But I could put that in a dashed layer. I don't think it would show up as dashes though, because it's a solid object, and like if I were to put this in floor dashed, which I have a layer. Oops, I turned it off. Well, it does show up as dashes. Normally, because what you'd be seeing is the top line of that wall and the bottom. Let's save this view, because I've had to do a lot of tag work here. Let's go to scenes, and we're going to create a new one called second floor. Let's see, floor, we want to keep it grouped properly. Floor, second framing, and we won't use caps. There we go. Floor, second framing, and then, oh wait, that I'm naming a view. Okay, so I'm not naming a tag. So floor, second framing. Well, we can just do it like this. I think I want to abbreviate because I get too much going on here. Floor, second framing. I forgot I was naming a view, not a layer. Okay, that makes it a little shorter. Right, so now we're going to update that. And now see, we can go back to our working view, and then I want to check it. I can just go to my floor frame. This is what I was talking about for sometimes these, when you make a solid object a dashed line, the edges will interfere with each other, and it'll, like, the bottom dash would be in between the top dash maybe, and it wouldn't look like a dashed line. But that worked out pretty good. As a matter of fact, I might just do that. I may create a set of walls like that are just for this purpose, which wouldn't be that big a deal to do. But that actually turns out to be pretty. Now, what the issue is going to be is this truss right here. How will they, this, and this, what I'm trying to do is get all this stuff together for a meeting with my structural guy. Usually I'm correct about this stuff, but since he has to stamp it, I have to let him tell me I'm right and then stamp it. So sometimes they'll make a girder truss right here. See, this truss right here is carrying all these trusses. Now, not really, because, and this is probably what I should do. Let me turn on the first floor. And I'm going to, since these walls are pretty easy to draw, I'm going to go ahead and I may just draw the, I think I'm going to go in here and just create these walls. But I think I'm just going to do them the 3.5 inches. Well, if I did them 4, it would, yeah, 4.5. Okay, let's not worry about it too much. Let's do that, and let's do. Let's see that. I can bring this up. And I think for the purposes of this drawing, I'll show it coming over to here. Well, or I'm going to show this other wall. Yeah. Yeah, we may just do that. We may just create a whole series of walls that are just, because I'll show you what I'm talking about. I like to draw the walls with the Medeek extension, because I get my framing with it. Let's see, let's turn on the oh man, what has he got? Plates, king stud. He's really got this kind of crazy, but anyway, I can, what do we got now? Missing headers. Honestly, didn't realize he had created this many headers. And then sole plate. Where's the plate? Bottom. He's even got that separated. But if I draw them, then he's got the windowsill. Good Lord. I think I actually can go in and change this in the settings. Wall seal. There we go. Anyway, the point is, I can I just realized I went to move the walls down to that 2 inches. But anyway, I like to draw most of the walls with the extension because I get all my framing and sheeting and all that, the headers, which is kind of cool, and the jacks aren't turned on. Where I think he calls them trimmers. Some people call them trimmers. We call them jacks. This one should actually be doubled on each end, but that's not a big deal. The framer can do that. But I'm just trying to show that what I may do is do some just these type of walls so that if I go back to my floor framing plan, yeah, see, I'll have yeah, we'll turn on our 3D stair. And then this wall, it reminds me, this wall actually, we need to check. Let's turn this on perspective mode. There's a lot going on this first floor. As you can guess, you've probably guessed. And I gotta run this down to under there, and I gotta go check to see if we actually have headroom under there for the turlet. Yeah, I said it. I said turlet. And that's what we call it in Tennessee, a turlet. This part could come over, yeah, to there. So then if we go to our floor plan, our floor frame, that looks more logical now. And if I turn on the, yeah, I may leave that turned on just to show, just to cover up that wall. Let's save that and we'll think about it. Are we on parallel projection? Yep. So then if we go down here, any more questions? Woohoo! Salty shellback. Alright, yeah, theory and reality are definitely not the same. Yeah. You know that. Perspective. I can't get used to working in that parallel projection mode. It's annoying. Let's turn on the first floor. And in here somewhere is a door. Let's just draw one. I want to be able to go in there and see what kind of headroom, because that may be why I had the stair pushed out to begin with. I think it's right here somewhere. I think it would be 30 by 82, we'll see. There, now we can go in here. Oh, I got it close. That wasn't close, was it? Now this is, I didn't want to do this bathroom in here, but they made me do it. Okay. So, but see, the thing is, the toilet, let's see if we can get to where we can see. It's kind of hard sometimes to get to where you can look up. Yeah, it might be that we need enough room to sit down. I wanted 5 feet right there, and it looks like, well, what about that? We got just 5 feet and room for drywall and a floor covering. So we got a 1/2 inch for tile and a 1/2 inch for, that just doesn't even seem real how that worked out. That's odd, actually. Because what will happen is, if I can select that one line, it would go up to there. Well, I selected the whole thing, I guess. But, oh, wait a minute. That's not right. I accidentally selected that end of the line. I meant to select this one. This side would, yeah, this side will come up like that. Yeah, and that's like that, and then you'll have drywall on the ceiling. So that does work out. Now if we go back to our floor framing plan, what the truss guys want to see is what kind of walls we have below. Okay. Now the reason I'm not making this, the reason I'm not letting these trusses bear on this wall because I don't want to have to thicken the slab under this. I want, we are going to do something else. We're probably going to put 2 girder trusses in, one here and one here. And those girder trusses, get all that silly parallel projection. Those girder trusses will be beefed up enough to where they'll carry the floor from here to there. I am kind of leaning towards thickening up this slab though, and giving them the option of doing that. So then if we go back to our floor frame plan, we should have all the walls dashed in on that. So let's go to projection, and we'll turn our first floor framing plan on, and we will, yeah, that's correct, yeah. We will go into this group, and these are just going to be walls just for the framing plan. I know you're thinking, why are you doing all that? Well, it's not a big deal. It's pretty fast. I'm fast anyway. Just kidding. Because I can take out these little lines. Whoops. And this will be, draw this one all the way down. Because the floor truss company gets all weird if you don't show all the walls under the trusses, and they'll be calling me, what's supporting these trusses? We have anti-gravity, dude. We don't need those stinking walls. But they don't have any sense of humor, so get rid of that face. And this will go over here. How far did I go down here? To here. If I did this right, I should just be able to bring all these up at the same time. Take that out. So let's try, see if I got it. If I did it right. I think I did. Let's go to our trusty floor framing plan and see what it looks like. Yep, that looks pretty good. Now, it just occurred to me, now see, this is a good example of why you need to do that, because I need a header across here to carry these trusses right here, because I'm going to set this up as a working view, so I don't have to worry about all my layers. I'm going to change this to work. But if I go to the front elevation, you'll see that this is a little, it's funny, which one are we working on? Yeah, this one. You'll see that there's no wall here. This is a little entryway. So we go back to our working view. So that means there's nothing here to carry the wall that's sitting on top of it. So that's interesting, because I just think it is. So what we will do is we'll create ourselves a beam, a header, beam, draw beam, and it will go, well, we're going to say it goes from there to here. And I've learned from earlier that he put that in the wall layer, so I need to turn, yeah, there we go. And I need to go in and reassociate that with layer 0. And then change it to the group to floor beam. And why is that turned off? What is this in? Oh, floor truss. Okay. That is correct, Bob. We want floor truss because I accidentally turned floor beam off. So we want this to be in floor truss. It's there somewhere. My mind is just going already. There it is. Now we can set it down there. Like that, because we want it to be, back a ½ inch so the sheeting could come up over the face of it. Why does that say quarter? Oh, I know why, because this is 3½ inches. Good thing I checked. Well, it should be, it should be right there. Yeah, that's a ½ inch at the end of the trusses. Yeah, okay, I just missed the mark to begin with. Now we're going to have to create a little, well, let's see, we might be able to cheat this one. Let's see what it looks like if we go to our floor framing. Can we cheat it? No, we can't. That's too obvious. I was trying to see if I could cheat that, but I'm going to have to create a little block out situation like I did with these the stair opening. No big deal, because I can just draw on top of this. And then I can make that a group and then put it in the subtract layer. Was it floor subtract? Was it subtract? Oh, here we go. What was that? And then I should be able to regenerate this. Oh wait, I gotta get myself a little confused here. And this is where layer management, it should be under subtract second stair. Okay, so if I turn off floor truss, I know what I gotta do. I gotta turn this off and turn this on, and then I didn't put it inside. I gotta cut it out, and then cut it out, Tony, and then turn on the trusses and put it inside the truss group, paste in place. And now when I regenerate this, oh, I didn't name it. either. So much to do. Floor trusses, turn them off. This is where I should have made these a different layer. We're going to go ahead and put these, we're going to go ahead and turn on the floor beam. And we're going to put this in floor beam. Yeah, we're going to put this in floor beam. And we're going to put this in floor beam. Because I need to turn it off. And turn this back on. What did I do? So we need to go back to what is that? What is going on? We might need to reboot, man. We have some strangeness going on here. So we turn on our floor beam. I don't know what happened to my block I had there. We're going to put this in floor beam. And this is floor beam. Okay, so I don't know what happened to that. I'm pretty sure that thing is there and it's in a layer that I accidentally, but I don't want to go back that far. If I turn off floor beam and I think I accidentally put it in a layer. It's supposed to be in this layer, like this one. See? So we're going to have to create another one. Sorry. We're just going to draw it from here. And I'm sure it's going to pop up somewhere in the future and remind me that, hey, you did that wrong. Let's put this on perspective. Oh man, what did I do? Alright, we're going to make this a group and we're going to put it in this floor subtraction thing. Subtract. I'm getting confused between my layer names and my object names. So should be floor. Okay, let's go to subtract. And that says stair. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same tag for now. Just so it has. Oh. You also have to put subtract here. Okay. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Alright, now let's move it out here where it goes. There is a purpose to all this, I promise. Okay, we're trying to subtract this end of this truss. Okay, so now if I turn this off, now I got to put it inside the floor group. I got to cut this, go inside here, place it there. Now if I regenerate this floor, it should subtract it. There we go. Now if I turn off that, it leaves a blank space for my floor beam to come back in. Now there was actually two of those subtraction things somewhere, and I don't know where it is, but I ain't going to worry about it right now. So now we've got a header there, and then if we look at our, what was that over there? Oh, that's a stair in the going up to the roof deck. Okay, so I turned that layer on. So if I go to our floor framing, could we finally have a floor framing plan? Let's see, somehow. Oh, okay, floor framing, the floor beam is turned off. Whew, that was close. I thought it had deleted. Alright, so we're going to update this. And that, my friends, let's see, we don't need a handrail showing up. Let's see, stair. What group is it in? Yeah, you see that handrail? We don't want that in our floor framing. As a matter of fact, we may just turn off the stair. And this wall is going to confuse them, but I'll just label it. Well, maybe not. Maybe it won't confuse them. But I just want this to be really clear how this framing works. And that will do it. That's a good floor framing plan. Now what we do here now is we take this and we put it on a sheet. See if we have any comments. The more turlets, the better. Yeah. Yeah. I spell it with a U, T-U-R-L, so I was confused there for a second. That's funny. So, alright, we got that, and we're going to save this. And just to give you an example of what we might do, is I'll go to our sheets. Now, layout is where we do our printable sheets. Our 24 by 36 architectural size paper. And I've got it somewhere in here. Where are we? Eric Church, Hammond. My eyes are going bad already. Lucy Quarter, here we go. Alright, so you can see I got the foundation plan. I even have elevations of the foundation. Now these are going to go a little wacky now because I changed this. I bet if I update this, I'll probably have to fix the dimensions. Yeah, what you can do though is you can go back and say reconnect to model, and sometimes it'll work. Oh, look at that. That was awesome. Almost all of them did. Some of these I will have to go check why that one didn't reconnect. You know, sometimes they don't because you move the geometry too much. You're supposed to be able to move the geometry around and then these dimensions are associative, and most of them work, but you can see they did get a little wacky, so I'll have to go fix that. I had 8-inch steps before, and now I've got 12-inch steps, so I'll have to fix that. But anyway, that's a different thing. So if we go, trying to figure out where, okay, I can use this sheet just and duplicate it because I don't want to lose my building section thing. We'll duplicate, and we'll say floor framing. See if we got enough room to say plan. If we don't, it'll return. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I don't know what number it's going to be for now, so we'll just leave that alone. And this stuff goes on the building section, which is on the other. Let's see. Yeah, I still have it, so I can delete this. And then let me make sure our model is saved. And then we come over here and we insert the model. We find it. Lucy Quarter. Lucy Quarter is like a historical area in Chattanooga where we're building these townhomes. Lucy Quarter, I think that's right. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to put it on. There's one little setting I like to make it a hybrid instead of a vector or a raster. You'll see it darken up a little bit, and it clarifies the lines. Makes them clear. And then I'm going to select the scale to be 1/4 inch per foot. Wow, that got small, didn't it? And now that I've selected the scale, I can move this window around without it changing the scale, because if you don't set the scale first, it will try to scale it with the window. So it looks like what I'll do is I'll have enough room on here to do the both floor and the roof framing plans. So this will be floor, and I just wanted to see what size sheet. That'll even look better on the title. So I'll have the second floor, because there is no first floor. It's a turn down slab. I'll have first floor, second floor, and the roof framing, and I'll space them out evenly, and then we'll have us a little title bar for this one. I'm just kind of doing this quickly just to show you kind of how it works out. And then so what you're trying to do here now is you want to give the truss manufacturer, this is where you got to be careful not to, as a matter of fact, I think we're going to go change my walls so I don't make this mistake. Yeah, I don't want, my dash walls don't really, these walls I'm creating are just for this floor plan, so I'm going to make them go back flush perspective. I'm going to make them so I don't accidentally grab the wrong corner. That won't take but a second to change, because right now they're sticking out a 1/2 inch, and SketchUp is bad when you got geometry that close together. It just doesn't want to select easy. So we'll fix that. Save it. Go back to our sheet. We will select that and we'll update model reference, and you'll see the lines move. Maybe you did. Let's see, now I can just select that corner, because what I want is the truss dimension. I don't want the sheeting dimension. I want the truss, because the truss manufacturer is going to need that. And look, we came up with a logical number. It wasn't 3410 and 3/16, so I like that. And let's see what we got here. This doesn't really matter. to them because they're going to know the number of trusses they need by looking at the drawing. Oh great though, I like how it is still logical. And then what we'll do here is we'll put thing here to indicate that it's 2 foot on center. And then we will figure out how, let's put a dimension here. Still liking the dimensions that are coming out. There's a faux pas in architecture. You're not supposed to dimension the same thing twice, but I do it anyway. Like if you dimension the width up here, you're not supposed to dimension it down here, because if for some reason you change this one. Now see, this all kind of goes back to the software you're using. Back in the old days when we were drawing by hand, you would never label something twice, because if you had to go in and change it, you would have to find all the instances where you said 21 feet 8 and change it. That's where the faux pas comes, is from the old days when you were marking, with a pencil 21 feet 8 inches. You didn't want to have to go all, through sheets and find where that was. And so if I dimension it here, that's it. It's supposed to stay. But since we have technology now, and if I move one of those trusses, it's going to automatically change this dimension. So now what we need to do is, okay, so I just figured out what we need to do here. We need to put a dimension on the end of this truss, like that. Again, we're looking good. 20 foot 10 and a half is a logical dimension. And then the stair opening is from there, from here to here, 3 foot 7 and a half. That's between the trusses. Let's go check that, just to make sure I'm not grabbing something weird. There we go. 3 foot 7 and a half. We're good. We'll go back. We're happy. So, because what you're trying to do on a floor framing plan is show the truss manufacturer. And I just realized we got 2 different dimensions here we need to show. This will be another level of dimensioning right here. So you've got a hierarchy in dimensioning. You go from like the shortest stuff to the longer stuff. So I'll bring that in about right out there. That will show them that these 3 trusses are 34 6 and a half and not 34 10. Because this, and we'll show the dimension of Y, is 3 and a half. Right? And then again, you're not supposed to dimension this 3410 again, so I'm going to obey that rule right there, because I don't want to have a bunch of dimensions strung out all the way across the sheet. So you're trying to make the sheet look good, give the contractor and the supplier enough information to do what they need to do, and all that. Sometimes you're deciding between the two. Now, one thing I need to do is get rid of this stair. I thought I had done that. Let's go back, and I forgot to save it. Forgot to update my view. Update that. Save. The only thing is, I don't really want to I don't want the framer framing to that truss though, because it's going to make this space here smaller. So what I want to do is turn the stair back on for a second. measure that space and see what we would have. Three and a quarter. Really don't want to do that. I want to make it something either 3.5 or 3 inches, because then you could just put a little short section of a truss in there, or you could put a doubled, or you could just put a double LVL there, or if we did go ahead and thicken this slab right here, we could put a beam there. Decisions. Let's do that. Let's put a beam there for now. And since I know I can do that, we're going to pull this back 1/4 of an inch. 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it off. And so now I'm going to draw myself a beam that is from here, and I can just use that as a reference point when I'm going that way. Any questions? Oh, hey, Kurt John Mungle. Love you, buddy. I hope I caught your hey, Kurt. Got my caps lock on. Hope I caught you in time to say hello. I'm working here, so let's see, wall beam. And we're going to go over here. Let's see. We're going to use that as a reference point. Did it work? Yeah, I gotta go in and change it to from wall beam to floor beam. Too many layers, too many tags. Now we want this to go to floor beam, and then we can move this down. Move it over like that, and that's going to take up that. Now, see, the reason I'm doing this is because now this truss doesn't have to be a girder truss. Now this beam can, and I'm going to go over this with my structural engineer. I'm usually pretty good about this, but oh, you know what? I need to do this in the extension. I just realized this is an entity, so I need this to be 5. There we go. Pulled it back, and this one is, I made this one, so I'm going to push pull it with the push pull tool. Okay. Now that's cool because I can eliminate that girder truss, because what I'll do is I'll thicken the slab up under these walls, and this will be the only girder truss, and this actually is a load-bearing wall right here, so and that's a load-bearing wall, so there's no telling what the floor truss company will do there. So if we go look at our floor framing plan and we turn off our guides and we save What happened to our... What happened to our beam? We lost our beam. That was weird. For some reason, oh, you know what happened? I just realized what happened. Okay, I need to explode these because what happened was when I regenerated that beam, it put it back in the layer that it put it back in the floor truss or the floor. Oh, put it back in the wall beam layer. Let's see if I go up here. It says untagged though. Oh, that's because yeah. You see, if I go in here and I edit this beam, it's gonna put. Do I have a option to change the tag in here? I don't. Okay. So we're still gonna make this 5 inches. You see it disappeared. So now what I have to do is go turn on the wall beam. This is a little bit frustrating though because that means every time I edit something, every time I edit one of these, I've got to make sure it's in the right. See, it changed it. The extension that makes the beam changed it to wall beam, and I want it to be in this floor beam because that's what it is. What I may do is explode it, and then I'm going to explode it, and that way it won't do that again. Yeah, okay. And I don't care. I can always. I don't want it changing on me without me knowing it because that's happened before. And I've printed whole sets of drawings, and then somebody called me up and say, "Hey, something's missing," and it will have been the extension regenerating something. So there you go, and that's what we want. Oh, look, I undid this. Let's fix this. So we're having to deal with software, prima donnas. Alright, so that's good. And we save this. Go back to our sheet. Let's see, this is our sheet. And that'll be our 3rd floor framing plan and our roof framing plan. I'll change them later. And I just wanted to kind of show an example. So if I update this now, everything should be good. And I can just reassociate this one. Yeah, it reconnected. And so now I'm going to have to put a little individual measurement on this one because there's not a good place to dimension. Oh, I love that dimension though because it's nice and simple. 10'4" because I need to finish this string out, but that string goes to there. You see that truss is 10'4", and then we've got our dimension for this one, which is the 34'6.5". And then we have to dimension our stair opening, which will go from here. So for some of these dimensions are for the truss company, and the other dimensions are for the floor framing contractor. We want this to be 3'3". That's correct. 12'5½". And sometimes you got to, adjust it. I guess it's not going to be any perfect. I don't know, man. Maybe there, and we just say no leader. Where's the no leader? Okay. There we go. If you move that dimension, it'll put a leader on it. A leader is the little, if you don't know, we'll call it a curved leader. Let's say I wanted that dimension out here somewhere. See, like that. If I wanted to make it read better and I wanted to move it, then there would be a little curved leader you could put on it. But I don't want that, so we are going to take this back to, because it looks weird if you don't have enough of a leader to make it look like a leader. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I've been going for quite a while. Let's see if there's any. You too, Kurt. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So that's your typical. Right here, you might add a little note. You can add a little note onto these associated dimensions by just putting it outside the brackets like this on center. This is like the little. That's kind of how we denote on center. You don't really need it, but just for the fun of it, 2 foot on center, and then if you have to kind of pretend you're the floor truss manufacturer and say, I know how long that one is, I know how long that one, and so on. And oh yeah, in the notes here, I'll have something like. I'm going to wait till I do too much labeling until I talk to my structural guy, because he has to kind of confirm all this so he can stamp it. I'm going to say load bearing point or something like that. That should be right, justified. And again, you're trying to get it to where it reads. Because what I want him to know is that he doesn't have to rely on this truss right here to carry the stair opening. See, this beam right here is carrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trusses. So, if that point is carrying 500 pounds, per square foot or per linear foot, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's 5,000 pounds or whatever. So that beam there has to carry that, and it transfers it to this point right here and that point right there. And of course, that's a load bearing wall. So here I'll denote that up here somewhere. Always get anal about this. Which line, what goes on. It's annoying to be anal about that kind of stuff. Whether I put load bearing up here or put bearing down here. It's kind of funny. So that way the structural my structural guy knows, and the truss company knows that they can put a they can beef up the floor trusses right there. Let's turn this and put this on perspective mode here. And this is not a correct indication. This, like this floor truss would be, I'm not going to edit these right now, and I'm not going to really probably edit them anyway. This will be like that, and these would be stretched over there. This is the extension created this, obviously. So let's see if I regenerate the floor, it'll go back. See, so but what it's going to tell the truss company is that this wall is load bearing, and they can put this rim board here is not structural. And as a matter of fact, since I said that, I need to denote that. Let's put it up here, and we'll put it kind of where that other one is. 1 inch rim board, and that'll tell them that that's a non-structural piece. That's just something to cap off the end of the trusses, and something to nail drywall to, screw drywall to. With that, so you want to kind of go around and think about all those kind of conditions and note them. And this wall, let's see, it's only a 5-foot wall below. And so, I mean, eventually we will, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say what I think it is. This is going to be 2 16-inch LVL beam. And this is not really a beam, but we're going to go ahead and point to it because it is going to be the same material. It's just really a header joist. There's not much load on that. And then this one's the same thing. Two 16-inch CLVL beam. And see if we can get it to where it, oops. Yeah. Here we go with the anal is starting to show up. Go over that way a little bit. Alright, that's good enough for now. I'm going to go over all these. What I do is I'll take a whole sheet of drawings, like if I go back to, you know, the floor plans, I'll look. That's the one I'm working on right now, so it looks weird, but I'll go back over these and you know, go over everything. I'll actually print out actual copies and review them, and we use our schematic design label until we get past the point, past that point. But right now I'm going to label this, I don't know if it's going to be A6 or not. What am I typing down there? A6. Framing plans. Somebody's Barrett's texting me. What does he do? Oh, that's funny. He shoveled his bridge Where's the thing? Is there that much delay? That's kind of crazy. Wow, there's lots of delay. Holy cow. I was trying to show you Barrett's little bridge here, but there's so much delay in the live stream. What is going on? I'm kind of freaked out because I'm looking at the YouTube side, and it is way far behind. Wow. Okay, well, do you all see how far ahead I am of this live stream? Well, okay, I'm going to end it here because that's just weird. And I've been going for quite a few hours now. And really what I wanted to do was get this floor framing plan to a point to where I could go over this with my structural guy. And if he says my concepts are good on this one, then I'll be able to do the second floor and the roof. I'm going to probably do the roof framing plan today also. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little freaked out by this, what I'm seeing on the YouTube side. Are you all seeing that? I'm screen sharing so you can see that the YouTube side is really far behind. And that means I'm talking to you in the future. So, looking back. So anyway, I'm going to end it here and then try to figure out for the next live stream how to correct that, because I didn't realize the latency was that bad. Because I want to try to respond to your all's comments quicker than that. This stream's current bit rate is 2765, is lower. You know what it is? I think the weather, because it's pretty icy outside, I think the weather has screwed this up. So I'm going to end it so it's not 4 hours long. And I appreciate everybody watching. I just had to do some work today. I thought I would turn on the live stream. And but if y'all have any questions or need any help with projects, you can go to atdrafting.com. And I don't really advertise this too much because I'm busy. But you can just go to the website just for the fun of it too. And here it is, atdrafting.com. And if you do need drafting services, you can fill out this little form, and I'll get it and I'll respond to you. But I also want to thank Nathan Wilkerson, the fellow who makes these extensions that I use. And he's a really cool guy. He's an engineer himself, a really smart guy, and he's created these extensions for YouTube, for SketchUp, for YouTube also. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and we will see you on the next one.